I'm now going to adjust the angle of the frame in the clamp. So I'm not going to change the forwards and backwards distance, I'm actually going to change this angle across here. So what you might notice with the frame is that it's set up that the inside of the frame, the bit that's closest to the person's body, is usually a little bit lower than the outside. It's purposefully set up like that to stop the frame from digging into somebody's arm here, which as they come up, that can often dig in if you've got it angled. So I'm going to move the inside higher up. So now, as I come up, what will happen is that can press into the arm here a little bit more and be uncomfortable for the person using it, but it can help them hold their hand in a different manner closer to their face. It can help cup the elbow slightly better. So this adjustment can be lifted up, or it can be dropped down to achieve a similar thing. It may be to do with the angle of the person's shoulder that sat in it. So by having the frame tilted down slightly, so this inside edge is a lot lower than the outside, that can also stop the arm from pressing into the person's inside elbow as much. And again, I'm just doing that by clamping and unclamping the frame here. You can adjust it and move it till it's in a too far position and it's not comfortable for the person using it, and then bring it back and find the right position. In this instruction video, I'm going to show you how to adjust the clamping position of the frame into the NAS arm. So to start off with, I'm actually going to mark the frame up so that I can have a reference for how much I'm adjusting it, or if I want to put it back in the same spot. So I'm going to use a marker pen and put a couple of marks to show the forwards and backwards distance, and then so that I know the angle of the frame in the clamp, I'm also going to use the clamp slot to have a line in it I can line back up. So there we go, I've put a line either side of the clamp slot, and now I'm going to loosen the frame in the clamp using a 5mm Allen key. So that's allowing me to move the frame backwards and forwards, and also pivot it up and down. The first functional adjustment I'm going to make is the forwards and backwards movement, and the reason I'm going to change this is that if you want the client's hand to come up towards the face much more as they lift up, I'm going to move this clamp forwards towards the front of the frame. That promotes the elbow to drop. So I'm going to go really far forwards, overly forwards, just to show you as an example, and tighten it up. So now, as the person brings their arm up, it'll promote their hand to come up much closer to their face. As they come down, they'll have to use a lot more force to try and get their arm level. So this is way too far, and you can see from the marks that I've made, we've come a very long way. You might want to adjust it just a couple of millimeters at a time, just to find the starting point. And I'm going to use my alignment marks to keep the angle of the frame the same. So this angle here from the front on, that is now still the same, but I've moved about 5mm further forwards. And I'm going to try that with the person's arm in the frame to see whether they can get their hand to their face easier. If the person using it wants to put their hands flatter to the table, then we're just going to go in the other, exactly the same, but in the other direction. A little bit further back. There we go, about 5mm back. And see if that allows the user to push their arm flat. If you want to remove the fabric of your sling frame for washing, this can be done quite simply. First of all, I'm going to undo all of the Velcro at the back around the frame to allow that to come loose, and then I'm going to get hold of the front of the fabric here. I'm going to pull it forwards. Inside here there is a little bit of rubber that's making it grip onto the surface of the sling frame, so you do have to give it a bit of a wiggle as it comes off. And then I've also taken off the strap. There is a bit of rubber that you'll be able to feel inside here, a bit of rubber tube that is stitched in so it can't fall out when you put this in the wash. So that is, if you look in the hole, you will be able to see it yourself. And when you're reassembling it, you need to make sure that you get the end of the bar, the frame, inside the rubber, and you can feel that with your fingertips. Make sure it's not got down one side of it, and just give it a wiggle till it goes all the way back on, and that just stops the fabric from falling off the frame. So the strap, if you're using it, always goes on the inside edge towards the person's body, and then the Velcro side of it you need to have over, no, yeah, so you can wrap it over itself and put the Velcro down so that the Velcro isn't then touching the person's arm when they've got it in the frame. And you need to do that before you put the end of the frame on. And then you can put the Velcro tabs at the back just to hold the elbow back in place.